Brian with AC Products USA. We're coming to you today from our Fort Myers office, and we're going to talk to you about our product called AC Protec. AC Protec is a single-step modified polymer base clear coat designed to protect your entire HVAC system. You can put it on the cabinet, sealing it up and protecting it from corrosion. You can put it on the coils without affecting the heat transfer abilities of the system, and you can put it on the PC boards, protecting those vulnerable PC boards from moisture, from vermin, geckos, lizards, cockroaches, all those little critters that love destroying our AC equipment. And in this day and age, your PC board probably costs more than the compressor. So you want to really protect that PC board. So what we're going to talk about today is about the application of AC Protec in aerosol form to your standard mini split system. Now you can use this on your indoor systems, you can use this on your central systems, on the indoor coils, on your standard condensers, heat pumps, that kind of stuff. But we're going to focus today on just the mini split. So one of the first steps you want to take when you are working on your HVAC system is you want to make sure you turn off the power. Get that breaker turned off, pull the fuses, pull the disconnect, whatever it is you got to do to get your system neutralized. Remember, some systems that have inverters take a while to unload, so you make sure that that system unloads before you touch anything. Next is you're going to disassemble the equipment. How far you disassemble it is going to determine how well you protect. Now once you have the unit completely disassembled, this is about the minimum you want to do. And one thing I'm going to show you is how you want to prep some of the things. What you really want to do is you want to take all your tins and lay those out in separate locations so that you can actually start application and do everything in a very specific series of steps. So number one thing you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and pull your PCB to where you can get to it pretty easy during your application process. Remember, one of the things you're going to do is you want to coat that PCB. In order to do that, you have to remove the PCB. Now I'm going to do it to a point where most people will be very comfortable. Some people can be very comfortable completely removing it from its enclosure, but I'm only going to do a partial remover just to give you a quick view. So in this particular unit, by removing this front cover, I've exposed the most vulnerable part of the PCB because the bottom side is 100% inaccessible, but the top is very accessible and needs to be protected, especially this unit. This is going to go in Florida. We're going to have salt air, we're going to have moisture, and you bet there's going to be geckos and lizards. I will be giving you pointers along the way. These are things that we have learned over the years. My experience in the past has been as a contractor, as a manufacturer's rep, as a lot of different parts in the HVAC industry. So everything we've learned there and the things we learned during the development of AC Protec are things we're going to share with you. Once you've disassembled the unit, you've made sure your power is off, you made sure that the unit has drained down, you are now ready to start coating. You're going to take AC Protec, you are going to shake this can for about 30 seconds to 1 minute. Now that that's well shaken, you're going to set your can at about 6 to 8 inches away from the surface you're trying to coat. This is going to put out a very nice fan pattern, and the thing that you want to do is you want that pattern to overlap. So we'll do a close-up here in a minute and show you. First thing we want to do is we're going to do the PC board. The PC board has been connected. There is nothing that needs to be tripped. There are no dip switches that need to be set. You are now simply ready to coat the PCB. You're gonna be able to coat these fins as well because you're not going to mess up the exchange of heat on these heat sinks. You're gonna do 2 coats on this PCB, but you can give it about 15 minutes between coats. So you do the PCB first, you move on to the rest of the unit. Remember to have proper ventilation. We have opened the door, we have good cross flow of air. You don't want to use this in an enclosed space unless you have some sort of respirator, just to make sure you kind of get rid of those noxious fumes and you're not breathing them in. So now you've done the PC board, the next you want to do is you want to focus on the coil. The thing about the coil is it actually gives you a very nice pattern to follow. You have copper tubing, sometimes you have aluminum tubing, but that copper tubing is going to give you a pattern to follow with your spray. So you'll have an overlapping spray pattern. Don't hurry up, don't rush, okay? You want to take your time spraying this. You don't want to do one of these. That's not going to get the coating on properly. When you have one of these mini splits, you want to make sure that you do both sides of the coil to make sure that the main thing you cover is the leading edge. That leading edge is where all your rust and your corrosion always starts in the aluminum. So when I get that leading edge. Number 2 is when you're coating that coil, what happens with these cans is by the time you start getting low, if you tip over, they sputter a bit and you're not going to get the right flow. So next tip is make sure that when you're applying this, you do the bottom first. Now you can remove the blades or you don't have to remove the blades, but you're going to get a much better coating if you remove the blade and you get to all your parts properly. On most of these mini splits, you guys know that these pans get full of water. So do an extra heavy coat right here where the foot of that fan support is at. And just like this, you're going to do the entire system. So once you've done one coat, by the time you're done coating the coils and all that stuff, by the time you get done with that, you should be able to move on to your PCB and do a second coat on that PCB. Let's show you a quick close-up of what happens when you apply the coating through the coils. You can see that the coating actually goes all the way through, and as it goes through, it is coating not only the leading edges, but it is coating the inside of those fins as well. Quick tip for you, if you are coating the unit before installation, you want to make sure that you tape off all these terminals and your ground, because what will happen is that you will not get proper communication by coating these. So you do not coat any of these terminals until your wires have been landed. We're going to go ahead and give this PCB a second coat because we are dry to the touch. We're going to change the position on it a little bit just so we can get a different approach to it. Remember, keep shaking that can. We'll go ahead and let that dry again for another 15 minutes, and we go back in and do our next coat on that coil. You're also going to be able to coat the fan blades. Plastic fan blades are very susceptible to UV light, sun. It just bakes them and they become brittle and they break. This product has a UV stabilizing component to it, so you want to also coat the fan blades. Now, if you don't do it like I did, you actually take off the blade, you can coat both sides of that blade as well. Or you can do it the hard way. Do not be afraid to coat the motors, the compressor, the copper, anything else you want to coat on the unit. Now remember when I told you to set all the panels aside? Once you've got the unit with 2 coats on the coil, 2 coats on everything else, and you're going to do 3 coats on the PCB, you're going to have enough left over that you're going to want to coat the inside of these panels. We give them 2 coats. This is the first coat. We'll let it dry, give it a second coat. And then whatever is left over is what you're going to use later, and I'll tell you how. Remember, we're doing 3 coats on this PCB. The third coat is where you get to do some spot checking. So you're going to go ahead and coat any spots where you notice that maybe you didn't get enough coating on. So on this edge, I can see where I didn't get enough. I can see some over here. Little bit in this corner. There's a little bit right in here. And then once you've done that, just give it a third coat on the whole PCB. And you can do this heat sink again one more time. Now, once you've sprayed the whole system down, you've taken care of the inner panels, you've taken care of the coil, the cabinet, the PCB, you've sprayed everything that your heart desired to spray, you still should have a little bit of product left over. This is the product that you're going to use to do the outside of the unit. You want to go ahead and coat these grills. The plastic ones are very susceptible. We use metal grills on our Delta equipment. But there's a lot of brands out there, good brands, that use a plastic grill. So you're going to want to protect that plastic grill by applying AC Protect to those vulnerable plastics so that the UV light does not damage it. Now, the bonus here is what happens is any overspray that you get on the coil is just bonus coating. So you're going to go ahead and coat the outside of the equipment now. Remember, overlapping patterns, the whole system. Now let's remember, we're gonna wanna do that coil a little extra, okay? And just like we did that, we're gonna go ahead and do the top, we'll do the other side, we'll do the covers. Once the line set is connected and your wires are connected and everything, you probably should have enough to give that a quick spray, protect your wires, protect the copper, keep that galvanic corrosion from reacting when you have humidity, copper, and aluminum. You have all those materials mixing together. Those are gonna have a reaction, so this product's gonna protect it from that. And with that said, that is your quick application on AC Protect on a mini split. Now, what's gonna happen is you're gonna need approximately 1 can of AC Protect per ton of cooling. So a 12,000 BTU mini split such as this one, it's gonna take about 1 can of aerosol, maybe 1 and a little bit. but your average number is about 1 can per ton. If you have a 2-ton mini split, you're gonna need 2 cans. 3 tons, 3 cans, so on and so forth. Now, once you've got your first coat applied, this is your base coat, you're putting this on, you're gonna put this in your customer's home, yay, everybody's happy. Well, what's gonna happen is there is some maintenance required over the years. Now, I am not bagging anybody else's product. There's a lot of great coil cleaners out in the market. But what happens with most coil cleaners? Most coil cleaners are acidic. Acidic cleaners will damage your coating. If you damage your coating, you're not gonna get the length and duration of protection that you're supposed to get. You're supposed to get 3 years of protection. And then on year 3, you're gonna simply clean up the unit and you're gonna put another application on and you're done. But in between, when you do your maintenance, what you wanna do is you wanna rinse the unit with fresh water as many times as you want, but at least 4 times a year, okay? If it gets done more than 4 times a year, great. But that's not the problem. The problem is you wanna clean it at least 4 times a year. And at least once a year, you wanna apply a pH neutral coil cleaner such as AC Pro Clean. AC Pro Clean is a product that we designed in-house to make sure that it is 100% compatible with AC Protect. It is compatible with many other coatings because it is a foaming pH neutral cleaner that's going to help protect your equipment. So with that said, I bid you guys adieu. Thank you for listening.